Hold on to your hats, folks, because this one's a doozy. We're diving into a prophecy that could shake the very foundations of our world. Renowned economist and forecaster Martin Armstrong, the guy who predicted the 1987 stock market crash, is now saying World War III is on the horizon. Yes, you heard that right. The man who has been right about so many things in the past is now warning us about a global conflict that could change everything. And not just that, he's also predicting the collapse of the United States as we know it, all by the year 2032. Imagine a world where the superpower of today is no longer standing tall. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Yeah, you heard that right. 2032. That's the year Armstrong has pinpointed for these monumental changes. It's not some distant future, it's right around the corner. That's less than a decade away. Think about it. In just a few short years, our world could be unrecognizable. The clock is ticking and the tension is palpable. Armstrong isn't just some random dude with a blog. He's a seasoned economist with decades of experience and a track record that speaks for itself. This guy has a serious track record of making eerily accurate predictions using his supercomputer Socrates. This isn't just guesswork, it's data-driven forecasting at its finest. We're talking about economic collapses, political upheavals, the whole 9 yards. Armstrong has been able to foresee events that have left others scratching their heads. And now he's saying we're on the brink of something even bigger, something that could change the world forever. A conflict of such magnitude that it could reshape borders, economies, and societies. So buckle up, because things are about to get real interesting. We're not just talking about minor changes. We're talking about a seismic shift in the global order. We're going deep into Armstrong's predictions, examining the evidence, and trying to figure out what the heck is going on in our crazy world. What are the signs? What should we be looking out for? And most importantly, how can we prepare for what's coming? To understand the gravity of Armstrong's predictions, we need to look back at history. Past conflicts, economic downturns, and political shifts have all left their mark on the world. But what Armstrong is predicting is on a scale we've never seen before. Experts from various fields are now scrambling to make sense of these predictions. Scientists, military strategists, and global leaders are all trying to piece together the puzzle. What could trigger such a massive conflict? Is it economic instability, political tensions, or something else entirely? And what about us, the everyday people? How do we prepare for a future that seems so uncertain? Communities are starting to come together, discussing plans and preparing for the worst. It's a time of uncertainty, but also a time of resilience and hope. Because even in the face of such dire predictions, humanity has always found a way to persevere. We've faced challenges before, and we've come out stronger. This time will be no different. We need to stay informed, stay prepared, and most importantly, stay hopeful. Life goes on, and while we can't predict the future with absolute certainty, we can take steps to ensure we're ready for whatever comes our way. Armstrong's predictions may be chilling, but they also serve as a wake-up call, a call to action, a call to prepare, and a call to come together as a global community. So as we delve deeper into this chilling prophecy, let's remember that we have the power to shape our future. Let's stay vigilant, stay informed, and most importantly, stay united. The future may be uncertain, but together we can face whatever comes our way. So, who is this Martin Armstrong guy anyway? You might have heard his name in financial circles or seen his predictions making headlines, but let's dive deeper into who he really is and why he matters. Well, he's not your average Wall Street suit. Unlike many in the financial industry, Armstrong has a unique approach that sets him apart. He doesn't just follow trends, he analyzes them with a depth and precision that few can match. He's a former economic advisor, a best-selling author, and the founder of Princeton Economics International. His insights have been sought after by governments, corporations, and investors around the world. His work isn't just about making money, it's about understanding the very fabric of our economic systems. This dude lives and breathes financial markets and global trends. From the stock market to global economic policies, Armstrong has his finger on the pulse of it all. His dedication to his craft is evident in the meticulous research and analysis he conducts. Armstrong isn't afraid to speak his mind, even if it ruffles some feathers. His bold predictions and unorthodox views often challenge the status quo, making him a controversial figure in the financial world. But it's this very fearlessness that has earned him both respect and criticism. He's been called a maverick, a genius, and everything in between. His journey hasn't been without its challenges, but through it all, Armstrong has remained steadfast in his pursuit of economic truth. His resilience and determination are qualities that have defined his career. But one thing's for sure, the man knows his stuff. His deep understanding of economic cycles and market behavior is unparalleled. Whether it's predicting a market crash or identifying a growth opportunity, Armstrong's insights are often spot on. He's been studying economic cycles and historical patterns for decades. His work is grounded in the belief that history holds the key to understanding the future. By analyzing past events, Armstrong has developed models that can forecast future economic trends with remarkable accuracy. And he's come to the conclusion that history doesn't just repeat itself, it rhymes. This means that while exact events may not recur, similar patterns and trends do. By recognizing these patterns, Armstrong believes we can better prepare for what's to come. Meaning, there are these underlying patterns that drive events, and if you know how to read them, you can predict the future with scary accuracy. Armstrong's ability to decode these patterns has made him a sought-after advisor and a respected voice in the world of finance. His work continues to influence economic thought and policy, proving that understanding the past is crucial to navigating the future. Now, here's where things get really wild. Armstrong's predictions aren't based on gut feelings or crystal balls. He uses a sophisticated computer model called Socrates. This isn't your average Excel spreadsheet, folks. Socrates is a powerful artificial intelligence system that analyzes massive amounts of historical data to identify trends and predict future events. We're talking centuries of economic data, political events, even weather patterns. Socrates crunches all this information to uncover hidden patterns and correlations that humans might miss. It's like having a crystal ball, but instead of magic, it's powered by cold, hard data. And the results, as you'll see, are pretty mind-blowing. Section 4. A History of Accuracy, Armstrong's Proven Track Record. Before we dive into the whole World War III thing, let's talk about why we should even listen to this guy. I mean, everyone makes predictions, right? But Armstrong's predictions have a weird way of coming true. Remember the 1987 stock market crash? Black Monday? Yeah, Armstrong predicted that. He also predicted the collapse of the Soviet Union, the rise of China, and the 2008 financial crisis. The dude's been calling his shots with uncanny accuracy for decades. So when Armstrong says something big is coming, people tend to listen. And right now he's saying that the world is headed for a major shakeup. Section 5. Ukraine. The catalyst for global conflict? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Ukraine. The conflict in Ukraine has been ongoing for several years now, but its implications are far-reaching and potentially catastrophic. Armstrong believes that the current conflict in Ukraine is not just a regional squabble, but a potential trigger for a much larger global conflict. He argues that the stakes are incredibly high and the world is watching closely. He sees it as a proxy war between the superpowers, with the US and NATO on one side and Russia and its allies on the other. This dynamic creates a highly volatile situation where any miscalculation could lead to disastrous consequences. And he's worried that things could easily spiral out of control, leading to a direct confrontation between nuclear-armed nations. The presence of nuclear weapons adds a terrifying dimension to the conflict, making the stakes even higher. Think about it. The US and its allies are pouring weapons into Ukraine, providing not just military aid, but also intelligence and strategic support. This influx of resources is intended to bolster Ukraine's defenses, but it also escalates the conflict. Meanwhile, Russia is threatening to use tactical nuclear weapons if it feels threatened. This kind of rhetoric is not just saber-rattling. It reflects a genuine willingness to escalate the conflict to unprecedented levels. It's a powder keg, and it wouldn't take much to set it off. The situation is incredibly tense, with both sides engaging in a dangerous game of brinkmanship. Any small incident could trigger a larger confrontation, drawing in more countries and potentially leading to a global conflict. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but they are fraught with challenges. The international community is trying to mediate and find a peaceful resolution, but the deep-seated animosities and strategic interests make it a daunting task. Economic sanctions have been imposed on Russia, aiming to cripple its economy and force it to back down. However, these sanctions also have global repercussions affecting energy prices and international markets. The human cost of the conflict is staggering. Millions of people have been displaced, creating a refugee crisis that strains neighboring countries and humanitarian organizations. The suffering of civilians is a stark reminder of the urgent need for a resolution. History has shown us that conflicts like these can have far-reaching consequences. The world has witnessed the devastating effects of global wars, and the lessons from history underscore the importance of finding a peaceful solution. The United Nations and other international bodies are working tirelessly to prevent the situation from escalating further. Global cooperation and dialogue are essential to de-escalate tensions and pave the way for lasting peace. Despite the grim outlook, there is hope. Efforts to rebuild and heal are already underway, and the resilience of the human spirit shines through even in the darkest times. The world must come together to support these efforts and ensure a brighter future for all. In the end, the conflict in Ukraine is a stark reminder of our shared humanity. It calls on us to rise above divisions and work towards a world where peace and cooperation prevail. The stakes are high, but so is our capacity for compassion and unity. The path to peace is challenging, but it is a journey worth undertaking. As global citizens, we have a responsibility to advocate for peace and support efforts to resolve conflicts. Together, we can make a difference and build a more peaceful world. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the Ukraine conflict and its global implications. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work